Okay. Hello. Hello, everybody. All right. So every week I always say, oh, I'm going to try and be on time and try to show up early and try to start the show at actually 6 o'clock. But evidently it doesn't work. But this time I have an actual excuse for being late because I was listening while I was getting ready um, to, well, a couple things. I was getting ready. That's number one. Um, and I got distracted because I'm like, well, maybe I should get ready earlier. But when I do that, it still never works. It's still after 6 when I come on. So I was jamming, listening to J. Cole's new album, The Off Season, and I just put a post or on my story like about 2 minutes ago, 3 minutes ago. Um, Before Pure Sessions, just to say if you guys haven't listened to it, if you guys haven't checked it out, J. Cole's new album, The Off Season, it came out Friday and it just bomb. I haven't actually I didn't know that he was dropping a new album. My brother told me when he was here and I was like, oh word, okay, I'm definitely gonna check that out. So I already have a favorite song, but I'm not gonna tell you which one it is. You just have to listen to it yourself. It's like about I think 7 tracks or so. I've already listened to it like 3 times. But it's definitely worth it. It's definitely working out type of album. It's definitely a long drive type of album. That's when I listen to it. I listened to it when I was driving for like 2 hours yesterday, and I definitely kind of played a couple of tracks on repeat. So if you haven't listened to it, definitely check out J. Cole's new album, The Off Season. It's really dope. I love it. So that's the excuse I have this time for being late. The other times I can't. I don't know. It just happens. So that's just what it is. Now, anyway, welcome to another episode of Pure Sessions with your girl Lana, and this is episode 35. And I know I sound like a little nasally, and I apologize. I know it was like a weird humming sound in the background. My computer is like acting like really weird, like on life support. And no matter how much I restart it, it still has that weird sound. So if it sounds like I'm like not yelling, but kind of like in the camera, that's why. And also, like I mentioned last week, my allergies have been acting up and we're like in like the heart of May. So they've kind of been like draining me. So forgive me if I'm not as, pumped up and energetic as I normally am. It's just because these allergies are like literally sucking me dry. So yeah. So this is episode 35 and this one is titled Fake Love. But as you guys know, every last week I did a Mother's Day episode or a Mother's Day special. So I did an episode on Saturday, but posted on Saturday. I didn't post one on Sunday, but I just did that for that weekend, like I mentioned, because tomorrow was the not tomorrow. Last week was Mother's Day. I didn't want to, do a show on Mother's Day. I would feel like it would have been rushed because I didn't know what we were doing. And honestly, I've been thinking about not not doing it on Sundays, but maybe doing it on a different day, and I haven't decided which day yet, because I feel like during the week people are kind of like moving around and doing things, but like on the weekends, kind of you kind of have more time to tune in. And I tried not to make it too late on a Sunday. I know Sunday's kind of like the wind down day or restarting your week type of day. So still what do you call it? Just lost my train of thought. Still deciding, there we go, what day to do it on. But yeah, so this is so there's sorry, my head is like killing me with these allergies. It's like, those sinus infections are like right here. So forgive me, I'm kind of all over the place. Um what is it? Yeah, so every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live on IG at Lana and Pure's Corner, and live on YouTube at Lana and Pure. And like I said, I've been trying to be on this page, this uh, not page, but yeah, page account. There we go. More so than Lana and Pure. I've been trying to like boost it up a little bit because in the beginning I only had one page and I kind of did mostly music and post and different things. But this one is strictly just for the podcast. So I have every episode in the Pure Sessions. Um, what do you call it? Under IG Live. So you can find it all there. And I think from episode 16, I think 15 or 16, I did them live. And the other episodes were just, audios. So it's been fun. I've had a few people on either on like with me or on via Instagram, and I've been trying to um what do you call it, get more people on, to have a better interaction. Like I said, I don't mind me talking for this whole time, but it would be nice to have a conversation. So I do know, I think, what is it, this Monday or next week? I don't remember. I will be going on a different show. So I'll be on Therapy Without Degrees. Hopefully, we kind of been rescheduling it, but I'll be on Therapy Without Degrees podcast, and I was on it before last year over the summer, but I kind of want to go back on because I've kind of been doing more stuff since then until now. So it would be kind of cool. So that should be coming up soon. What else? Trying to think of anything else. Oh, I did post on my story last week or earlier this week. I have a new project coming out, which is coming out at the end of this month, and it's titled "A Time to Remember." So I kind of posted it on my story, like one track, like for like a minute, so you guys can listen to it. And this one is completely the opposite of my last album's vibe or genre, which was Experience Misinterpreter. So this one's kind of more of like a techie trance, um, like electronic dance type of vibe. This album, and it has 12 songs on it, so it's not as long. It's not as long as the other one. And this kind of, like I said, is more of electronic dance, techie, like dubstep type of vibe. So it's pretty cool. I kind of wanted to do something different. Like I said, I've been trying to experiment more with outside of just like house music or dance club music. The one to do like chill hop, neo soul, R&B. Definitely can't go wrong with R&B. And things like that. So yeah, so I posted that. So I'll be posting some more stuff soon. Comes out the end of this month. And you can find it when it comes out. Not yet, because I think you can pre-save it because I use DistroKid to post my music or distribute my music. So I think you can pre-save on DistroKid, but not on the other apps like Apple and Spotify. I'm still trying to figure that out, but I think, you know, it's only on DistroKid. So that will be out soon. So I'm excited about that. I work with the same graphic designer for all my projects, and they do a very good job. They have the talent, the patience for the detail. I don't. I've tried. It just doesn't come out like how I want it. So I have to use. I like to use people who, do this for a living. That can make it pop versus me like randomly doing things. So who I use, Fade Creates. I definitely recommend you guys check them out because they do a lot of anime drawings, caricatures, things like that, and cool stuff like that. So I've been using them for the last maybe the last 3 projects. So it's been pretty cool. But yeah, that's just a little PSA. I almost forgot to mention that last week. I think I did, but I don't remember. So I wanted to mention it this week. Yeah, I'm trying to sorry, I sound so like monotone. Like I said, these allergies and my sinuses is just like right here. So forgive me. I'm gonna try to like wake up and things like that. But yeah, anyway, so we got Time to Remember coming out at the end of this month. We have a new episode of Pure Sessions. It's episode 35, and it's on Sundays, every Sunday at 6 p.m. live on Lana and Pure, live on YouTube under my account Lana and Pure, and live on Instagram at Lana and Pure's Corner, and as well as the audio version on Anchor. And Anchor distributes or does the work, so to speak, for me. So it goes to Spotify, SoundCloud, what else, Apple, Pocket Tune, things like that. So like I mentioned, and I still haven't figured it out, Anchor only allows you to record for 20 20 minutes, 30 minutes. There we go. 30 minutes. And so I try not to, I always say this and it doesn't work, but this time, since I'm not really feeling like 100%, I'm going to try not to make this too long because last week's was only like 45 minutes. So this one, I'm going to try to make around that same time. So if you hear like silence, that's just the reason why. But yeah, so this one is titled Fake Love. Now, what I came across this title because I kind of, like I said, I don't like to like pre-write or pre-write out what I'm going to talk about because I feel like it's not as organic as when you already have like a schedule of the things you're going to say. And this one, it's kind of like a universal type of thing. It's not like something that people haven't heard of. And with, I think I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago with COVID and with sorry, my allergies. With COVID, and being home at home this whole year and some change. It's been a year and a couple months, I think. Um, it's put things into perspective. It's kind of like show. I mean, not that I didn't know before, because you don't really need like a pandemic for people to really show you their true colors. But this really did put things into perspective, because it really showed you, or showed me, I should say, really who was there just for like the time being, who was there for just when you were doing well, who was there for just, like a favor, or who was there for just like the clout, or who was there just for like trying to get the plug through you for somebody else. And I noticed a lot, or at least the last 4 months, 4 or 5 months, definitely after the new year. So maybe around, probably like around Valentine's Day, March ish, that the people, because see, my thing is, sometimes when I talk, people think I'm talking about them, and I'm really not. I'm not trying to be funny. It's just I don't really see the point in sub dissing somebody, or talking about them but not saying their name, or people thinking that you're talking about them. That's not really the case. I'm not really talking about people like I'm not targeting anybody, because I know what some of the topics people have said. Oh, you're talking about somebody specifically, or it just happened with this topic happened with somebody. Is this why you're talking about it? No, it's just things I've noticed over time, and like I said, COVID and being home, being in lockdown, and being in the pandemic and whatever, really has put things kind of like right here for me, as really more so, like I mentioned not last week, 2 weeks ago, with what was it, handling rejection or healing your soul. I can't remember which episode it was. That people, like, that everybody really isn't worth the energy, if that makes sense. Like, not everybody deserves your 110%, if that makes sense. Because, like I mentioned before, I like to do things for people, because it feels good to do things for people, without expecting anything in return. Because I'm just that kind of person. But sometimes it feels as if that, I think I mentioned this too, that it's just like a one-way street. It's never like not like I'm expecting something in return, like, hey, if I like help you out with like this project or something like that, then when I need you next, or my next project, then I need um you to help. It's not like a tit for tat thing. I mean, certain things are, but it's not like a tit for tat thing. When I say I'm noticing things differently, like, I don't expect you to do the same thing I'm doing for you in return, because that's stupid, right? I mean, if you want to do it, you'll do it. If you don't, then don't just do it um because somebody else did it, or because I'm mentioning it. Then it's not like genuine, you know what I mean? And uh, I'm so sorry, my head is like killing me. Oh my god. um yeah, so my thing is, and I've noticed too, is just like it gets to a point, at least for me, where it's not benefiting anything, right? Because I'm the one who feels this way. They don't know that I feel this way, because they're just going on about their business and doing their daily things, and they don't know, or choose to know, or care why you're feeling this way. Like, it gets to a point where it gets so expected of you to be doing these things, that they don't really see, like, like what the problem is. Like, what's the word, like, they get comfortable. That's the word I like to use a lot. Like, people who don't um like, who are only receivers and not givers, they get comfortable. Like, for example, if you are with somebody, and like dating wise, or whatever, or friends, whatever you want to call it, and you're with that person, I don't know. Well, it doesn't work with their friends. So let's just say if they're dating, and you're with that person for like no, I wouldn't say 6, 7 months, because 6, 7 months is still early. You don't really need to do a lot of stuff in 6 months. It's kind of like weird. So let's say you're together for like a year or something like that, right? But in the beginning, going into a relationship, you knew how this person was, like their tendencies, what they will do, what they won't do, what they kind of like half-ass do, kind of thing. But yet, you're the person who always goes above and beyond, always wants to do extra, always wants to show them that, not that everything centers around them, but that you're willing to, put the effort, the extra steps out for them, without asking for anything in return. But then when, I think I just lost my train of thought. Wait. Today is not my day. I had a thought, it just went away. Dang it. It will come back to me. Basically, what I'm saying is my thing is if you know how the person is, their personality, like what they'll do, what they won't do, you can't get upset when it's not returned. You know what I mean? Like if you are always a person who puts people first, right? Who's a person who's selfless and wants to make them happy, but yet when it's your turn, your time, and it doesn't happen or it doesn't happen in the way that you want it to happen, you can't get upset. Like I had somebody I was talking to 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I don't remember, and their personality kind of was not lazy, but they were more so just like, well, if you do it, then I'll follow suit. You know what I mean? Like if you make this decision, then I'll go with it. Or if you want to do this, then I'll go with it. Versus like, oh, I'd say like one time, like for example, it was like their birthday, and I did like this whole big thing where bought them like a gift, did this, took them there, blah blah blah, made reservations, whatever you want to call it, because it was a birthday. Of course, you should do big for your birthday. And during the whole time of this event, because it was like a trip, during this whole time of the event, they didn't have any money. They didn't. It's not funny. I mean, but it is at the same time. But no, don't laugh. But they didn't have. My head is killing me. I'm so trying to make this sentence work. They didn't have anything to contribute. Like not that obviously it's your birthday, so I'm not like expecting you to have something to contribute, but it's like you should always like you shouldn't go out the house without having any funds. You know what I'm saying? Because you never know what could happen, not in a situation, just like in general. You should never go out without having something in your pocket just in case of an emergency or something like that. And the whole time, the whole trip, the whole weekend thing, I think maybe two, three, 2 or 3 times I paid. Very small, very minimum. And it was like I didn't mind this. Mind you, this is back when I wasn't really working. This is way before I started doing the full time job. But I didn't mind doing these things with them. But it was just like when it came my turn, and during that time it was before Christmas. So this was in November. So the next month was Christmas. So when Christmas came, I did not as big as I did in November, but I gave them, like a gift card, things that I knew that the person liked. And then when Christmas came, there was nothing. There was nothing under my Christmas tree. There was just not even was there a card? I don't even think so. Maybe not. No, I don't think there was a card. There was not even anything. I was like, I mean, you don't have to give like a gift. I mean, that's not what Christmas is about. It's not the point I'm trying to make, but it's like not even a card, just to say like I appreciate you or like a thank you card. Like I don't need like one of those romantic cards, but it could just be like a hey, thank you for doing this last month, blah blah blah. What an appreciation type of thing. It's the little things for me, the little small things, cards, the acknowledgement, the notifications and things like that. And it was nothing. And I was just like, wow, not that I was expecting anything from the previous month, but it was more so just like it's Christmas. So you would think, right? Because if you're doing this on Christmas, what are you going to do on Valentine's Day? What are you going to do on my birthday? What are you going to do on, let's say, if you last and it's anniversary? That Christmas, in some families, Christmas is a big deal. In some families, Christmas isn't. But for me, it's just more so like the gesture that counts. The like, hey, I saw that you did this. Let me give you this. May not be as big as what you did, but at least it shows you that I was paying attention and that I'm appreciative and things like that. So I say that I mentioned that to say now, fast forward now, because it's a couple years ago, but fast forward now, people tend to not get quiet, but people tend to like when you stop doing the normal things you've been doing for so long, because like I said, they get comfortable. And when you stop doing those things that they're used to, like say, for example, like reaching out first or paying, for dinner, whatever you want to call it, or for handling situations that normally should be mutual. And when you stop doing those things, they kind of get quiet. And my thing is, I'm one of those people who wonder who want to know why you're doing those things. Like, why all of a sudden were you acting like this, and now you're just doing all this? Like, what happened? Unless something like drastic happened, like an emergency or family issue or thing like that. Like, we're going like this, and all of a sudden you just disappear. You know what I mean? So I noticed that, like I said, maybe February this year, February, March, definitely last month, but more so heavy February, March. And I'm like, wow, is it really like that out there? Like, did I really make it, that easy? And people do tend to not want to do the work when they know that somebody else is doing it and doesn't say anything. Like, that's the difference too, as well. Like, if you aren't okay with doing, let's say, 80% of the work, you don't say anything, obviously the person's not going to know. And even if they did, they probably wouldn't figure it out unless you tell them. But it if you are doing the things and you aren't comfortable with it, and you address it to the person, whatever the issue is, whether it be you don't like taking not all the work, but you don't like doing, like I said, you don't like doing 80% of the work, and you tell them, but yet you still are around the person, you're still doing the same things with that person. Like, you already voiced how you feel about the situations to the person. But if you're still like there, you're still doing the things, then really what's the point? Like, they heard you. Obviously they can change, they could help, they could, do half the work or whatever you want to call it. But if they choose to, either in my cases, it's been, they'll change up how they do things for, like, say, the first month or so, to make it seem like, and I've noticed that with the pattern too. Like, I didn't peep it in the beginning, but like, they would like change up how they were. Like, say, okay, so like, say if I didn't like that, like, I was fighting for something more than you were, or I was not being more emotional, but I was like expressing how I feel, and you're not taking it, you're not hearing it, you're just taking it for granted and things like that. And I tell you, and then they'll say, okay, yeah, I'll change, or okay, let's work on this, or let's split right down the middle. And then it will be fine for like the first, like I said, first month or so. Everything will be good. You feel like you're kind of like, uh, what's the word? Like, on the same wavelength. And then after a while, like maybe a month and 2 days, it will kind of go a little bit downhill. Like, they'll stop doing like one thing and pull back a little bit, and then like a couple of days later, like a week later, they'll stop again and go a little lower. And then maybe like 2 weeks into the next month, they're like down here. And then by like the third week, they're kind of just like, where did it go? And they kind of like fall back into not doing anything. You're kind of like back to like picking up the pieces and things like that. Um, and I noticed that I'm like, okay, maybe it's not a big deal. Maybe I'm like tripping, right? Maybe I'm just tripping. And so time and time will go on, and then it'll pop up again, say the same thing, do it for a minute, then go back down the hill, then be a couple more times, be different things, not the same thing, but different issues that I would see. And I'm like, and took me, I guess it was in May. Um, Sad to say, mm, this year. It's sad to say it, but this year, to be like, what is the point? Like I said, it's not doing anything for me, but just causing me angst. The other person is hearing what you're saying, because you voiced how you felt to them multiple times, but it's not this. It still goes back down to this, if that makes sense. Like, it's only, what's that phrase? It's only good half the time. What's it? It's good 80% of the time, but, or stress. What is that phrase? Good half the time, or something. I can't think of the phrase, but it's only okay. Here we go. Some of the times, whereas the majority of the times that you're like worried about, times you're like stressing about, the times you're like, ugh, it's just like this. And it took me, sad to say, so year to be like, what is the point? And now, not just with this one particular person, but with different people as well too, because I don't really, because with COVID, it's hard to like really know people going through, because you don't want to like assume, right? Because it is COVID and things have happened from then. till now. So there's been a lot of stuff happening, and you just want to be like, you don't want to come on too strong. You want to give them some space because like things have happened, life has happened, people have passed, family members have been separated, things you can't see people and things like that. And I in the beginning I would be like, ugh, why won't they ever respond? Why can't they respond? Why can't they do this? Why can't they change? What's going on? You're being weird, all these other things. But then I had to realize that people, you know, are going through these things before COVID and during COVID and probably after COVID. So I had to realize that it wasn't just not about me, but it wasn't just about what would make me or what is it? Like what would satisfy me during the time being, because even though I wanted the instant satisfaction, it would still be more things later on down the line. And I felt like I can't put this person, these people through all these things. And it's just like, ugh, but there's a pandemic going on. So now I feel like a douche because I'm like, you're not responding to my messages. Or you're not, answering quickly, or, you're not answering in the way that I would like. And that would be my big thing. Like I would get frustrated with people who would not, I guess, respond quickly or fast enough or in the way that I wanted to. And that had to be like a long drawn out conversation, like response. But it would more so be like, why are you not like saying what I want you to say? Like it's not that hard, So I would have to realize that people either come realizing later at later dates, um, and B, everybody doesn't see the same thing, doesn't see things the same way that you do. And instead of me getting upset like this is so much work and being so extra, I'm be like, all right, I said my piece. I said what I had to say, and you can respond if you like. If you don't, that's cool. But at least I could, or at least I got off what I wanted to say. You know what I mean? So it's a struggle because everybody's different. Everybody's personalities are different. Everybody, kind of handles things differently. And even though I wanted like the answers, and even though I wanted to have the person be like, okay, I get what you're saying, and actually change, actually try different things, and actually want to be like, okay, I hear what you're saying, but let me actually do it versus just I hear what you're saying and then do it for the time being. So, like I said, everybody's different, and with these more so fast forward again, with these more so um, recent months, with things that has happened and things have not happened and things have gone on and things like that. It's just you have to just I had to just like be like, not like a cliche, but like it's in God's hands now. It's not up to me anymore. It's not up to me to figure out and spend time and hours and deal with aggressive and passive aggressive text and subtext and things like that. And just be like, it shouldn't be it shouldn't be this hard to communicate or deal with the person or try to figure things out. Like it really should. This is like a huge situation, a huge deal, a huge thing. It shouldn't be like this with what's that phrase? Pulling teeth to get answers, get results, and get things like that. Like I said, it never was doing me it never was doing me any good. You know what I mean? And I felt like like even though I wanted oh my god, my head is sinus infections. I apologize. I sound like this. It's just my head is like killing me. Um Like even though I wanted oh wait, this is about to stop. This is I truly hate Anchor because I was like on a roll and now I have to stop because it's about to cut off. That's the thing. It only allows you um to record for 30 minutes. So I'm gonna let this roll out and then I'm gonna stop it and then start it again in like 2 minutes. So it's gonna be silent for a second. So I apologize. Um I gotta figure out if I can find I can find a different app that lets you record for an hour because I got like a lot to say. And it's every time I stop this and I try to go back to what I was just saying, I swear I just forget it. So I'm gonna stop this and then record it again. If it will allow me to. No, it won't let me do it. No, okay, it's cool. Uh, it's not letting me record. Womp. Okay, there we go, and we're back. I forgot what I was about to say. I apologize. I sound so bad. I keep apologizing. I'm gonna keep apologizing, just so you know. My sinus infection. Sinus infection. Let me not say that. My sinus headache. There we go. Is right here doing this, this. So it's like, and I can't stop talking because it'll be dead air, and that's gross. So, what was I saying? Totally forgot. Um, I really forgot what I was saying. It's not my day. it's, it's not my day. Okay. What was I saying? Right, there we go. So my rambling aside, basically what I'm trying to say is fake love, right? Comes in all shapes, sizes, forms, deformities, things like that. And you have to really like step away from people, step away from situations to really see things clearly. And when you step away from situation, whether it's toxic, whether you don't think it's toxic, but other people think it's toxic, whether it's only just pulling your energy down versus building your energy up, whether it's just making you what is it like like do most of the work right in the person, and it doesn't have to be in a relationship. I don't want to just make it seem like all I talk about is never get in a relationship because they suck. That's not what I'm saying this episode. What I'm saying is every situation, right, every person you deal with, every relationship, whether it be friends, cousins, relationship, boyfriend, girlfriend, 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 boyfriend, whatever, um, it doesn't need to be that complicated, right? Like I said, depends on the situation. Like if you, like for me, since everybody says I'm so emotional, for me, I was always one who always wanted to like have 5 hour conversations about your feelings, about my feelings on situations that was like this small, right? But I would be like, you don't understand. I need you to do this, and you won't do this, and I feel like I'm just doing all the work, and you won't listen, and oh my god, my feelings. But now I'm just like, um, it's like it got to a point for me like, why am I explaining how I am? You know what I'm saying? Like why do I need to explain this is who I am? If that makes sense. Like if you're an emotional person, whether it be needy, clingy, constant text messages, constant validation, what else? Crier. I mean, I don't know. I mean, basically, before I get in trouble, there's nothing wrong with being emotional. And people make it seem, people, society, things, whatever you want to call it, make it seem like you're like a lot. You know what I'm saying? If you like, I can't format sentences today. Basically, people are saying like you are a lot if you are emotional. Like it's just too much to deal with. And I get that. I used to be a lot. And I don't mean like, oh my God, you're a lot. No, I mean like I used to be like, you're so much. I don't want to deal with you. Like that's how bad I used to be. And I say bad as if I'm just contradicting what I just said, but what I really was bad. And I had to like really like tone and put in check and hone down to like a little box my emotions. And it wasn't like I just like say, oh, I don't have any emotions, everybody sucks, blah 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 blah. It was just more so I knew how to um address them. I knew how to show them in a way that didn't seem so overwhelming for people. Like I said, everybody can't deal with that. Guys, girls, parents, friends, whatever. Not everybody wants to deal with somebody who's like, overly emotional 24/7, because that's just a lot of work unnecessarily. You know what I mean? And when it comes to me, like I said, I would be one, and I would use the word comfortable a lot. Like there's nothing wrong with being comfortable with somebody, because you want to be comfortable with somebody because then you can be yourself. Really, you don't want to be like having 1,000 walls up, because that's exhausting too. But when you finally get to the point where you can be, yourself, relaxed, chilled, not your guards down, but kind of just like a few steps back, it's a nice thing. It's a good thing. But when I would use the word comfortable, people, I would be saying like you or like like you're too comfortable with me. Like you're too comfortable with me doing all the work, right? You're like too comfortable with me, explaining myself 400 times and you saying you get it. And then it's cool for like a minute, but then it's like, no, we're going back. We're going back. And I'm just like, how many times do things need to happen or for me to say the same? Like before, when I had the episode about relationships, this is in the beginning a couple months ago. And I would say that I was one to not text back, like text constantly, but I was one who would respond under like 2 hours, unless I was really busy. But I would let you know, that I would be busy for these couple hours. So you wouldn't be just thinking that I would just be leaving you in the wind. Like if we're in the middle of a conversation and then you just go ghost. It's just like, but weren't we just talking? What happened? Right? It's like the level of courtesy and like the level of respect for the other person because you're like dealing with somebody else's personality, right? You're not just talking to yourself, and it would be weird because I would be like, how does this or why does this keep happening over and over again? Where I'm just asking is, you know, if you're gonna be busy, just let me know so I won't bring up a situation or a topic that requires your attention and then you're just gonna disappear in 10, 15 minutes, right? You know what I mean? It's just a waste of time. And I noticed, like I said, these past few months that once you stop doing the things that the person is so used to, it's just I don't know. It just shows you things like I said, I've stopped. Like me personally, recently, these past couple of weeks. What month are we in? I mean, May. It's not the third week of May yet. So like the second to the third or fourth week of April to like now. I just had to do it with certain people that I had to just like not be on my phone that much, not just because of social media, just I didn't want to be on my phone that much. And I noticed with these certain people that if I wasn't texting them, they wouldn't be reaching out to me. If I wasn't checking in on them, they definitely haven't been checking on me because I've noticed even during this whole pandemic, I think three three solid people that I know, like know their personality wise, really has like checked on me without me having to be like, hey, I haven't heard from you in so and so months. Like there are people I know who, if we don't talk for like 2, 3 months and we talk later, it just picks it back up. But there are other people who I definitely know for a fact if I didn't reach out to them, if I didn't have a conversation first with them, we wouldn't even be talking. And it showed recently too when I stopped doing the work. And I don't mean to be melodramatic, but I really was doing a lot of work. Like it's a pandemic, you know what I'm saying? Like you're home. And this is way back in the beginning too, not now, because people, stupidly are doing things without masks and out. But you it's like if it wasn't a pandemic, would you be doing the same thing? Like, I don't really see the point for me personally. If you have the time to talk, you have the time to like my posts, you have the time to watch my stories, my lives, my things like that, to like photos and things like that. How is or DM me, you know, how is it that you can't respond to a text? You know what I mean? Like I feel like um sometimes people just need to be shown things I think a little differently. You know what I mean? Like so for me, I've stopped reaching out to people because after a while it's just like, what's the point? Unless I'm doing it, you're not gonna do it. So why should I be doing all the work, if you can't do the same thing, right? I've stopped, being on social media, liking posts, comments, because I'm like, if I'm not going to talk to you, like I had to X myself out from people. And it was like, if I'm not going to talk to you, I have to do it all the way. I can't just be, not um like not talking to you through text message, but I'm liking your posts and watching your stories and liking your videos, things like that. It's just like it doesn't work that way because then you just become like a social media friend. And then I don't think anybody wants to be that. I feel like if you're gonna be a friend, be a friend 360, not just, people are watching or people are looking, people, you know, are like expecting you to you know, be there at the time being, you know what I mean? And I kind of went like all over the place to make this point, but I've noticed recently because like I said, I used to be sensitive. I'm an introvert, so I would absorb a lot of things, people energies, vibes, and people watcher. And I noticed that there's a lot of fake love I've noticed towards me, and I don't know why. I feel like I'm not trying to be funny or boast or anything, but I'm really a person who keeps to themselves. I'm very shy. Like I said, I'm not really one who's like up out in your face, loud, whatever you want to call it. I'm kind of like over here and like a people watcher and just like there you go. But I've noticed that when I do when I am doing these things, when I am reaching out, when I am doing the extra mile, when I am trying to show, blah blah blah, they're cool with that. But also at the same time, when I'm like not ghost, but I'm not reaching out as much or I'm not posting as much, people kind of still doing the same thing, which proves to me that you were only doing these things because or responding to these things because I was doing these things. You were only, here or around or relevant because I was doing most of the work. You know what I mean? And people, when you are doing most of the work all the time for years and years and years, they're feeling as if, like, what's the point of me doing it if you're doing it? You know what I mean? And it sounds jaded, but it's just, not jaded, it sounds cynical, but um, it's more so like, why am I doing all this extra work if you're just going to be here? You know what I mean? And I just felt like it's too much things, too much other things that I could be doing that doesn't require as much energy, you know? And because all it would do, real talk, really, because like I said, I don't mind being transparent with you guys. It would just be draining me. I would be wondering, like, what did I do wrong? What can I do better? How do I fix this? Blah 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 blah. It's like, what's wrong with me? Yada yada yada. And it felt like nothing I did would stick. You know what I mean? Like, if I have to keep saying the same thing over and over and over again, and the person says they get it, and yet nothing has changed. And recently, even more recently, in these past couple of months, I had to just step away from certain people because it just was like not doing anything but like making me question a lot of things. Like, I don't mind branching out and trying new things, but it just made me feel like I wasn't myself at the end of the day. Like, I felt like a piece of myself was being chipped over and over and over again, one by one by one by one. And I felt like, is that really how it should be with this person, with these people? Should I be feeling like a piece of myself is being chipped away every time? Or more so, should it be like we're getting better, we're growing, we're thriving as black queens and kings? You know what I mean? So I had to really feel like, is it worth the energy and effort that I'm doing to keep these people in my aura? No. Like I said, it took me a very long time, but it's just like, no, it isn't. And I usually, when I would do that, when I would step away from people, usually I would be like, oh, maybe I should go back. I'm overreacting. This is not really that bad. I'm just being extra as always. I'll be like, after a while, I'm just like, no. I'm tired of people saying that I was being extra. I'm like, this is just, what it is. Because at the same time or the same drop of the hat, they would be doing the same thing without second questioning it and not really worrying about what the not repercussions or what the after effect and aftermath would be. So I'm like, if it's that easy for everybody else to do it, not that I'm like everybody else, but like if it's that easy, then maybe I'm just overthinking it too much. And I'm just like, no, this is retarded now. I need to like stop. So I'm like, no, I'm gonna do my own thing, focusing on myself, growing, practicing, thriving, things you need to do to build your spirit and your soul up. So many times I would be worried about what everybody else thought, other people's feelings, things like that. But it's just like, no, it has to be a point in your life or time where you're just like, I'm not dealing with that anymore. I'm gonna go this way. So that's the way I'm going. I'm going this way. And it does feel rejuvenating after a while. Like, you may feel like, oh, maybe I was being too uppity or whatever you want to call it. But no, when you cut people off or you step away from situations or you step back from things, see things clearly, it's a rejuvenating feeling to feel like you're getting yourself back again. Like, you're building yourself up, you're growing and you're doing things that is laid out, on the path for you versus just trying to walk the path, trying to do the path. But you are you are like trying to like you're so focused on the other person and what they're trying to do and trying to make them happy that you're not really moving forward. You know what I mean? Like you are like to a point, but you're not like you should be further along than where you are. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense. So with the reason why I titled this fake love instead of just like fake people or exiting yourself out of situations or exiting or stage left or whatever you want to call it. Actually, that would have been a dope title. Next time I'm gonna use that. I just felt like when you hear the word or you see the words fake love, just feels like, oh, okay, you know, this makes sense. Or okay, I've been there. Or okay, I get what she's saying. So I just feel like we all go through it. We all deal with it from time to time. Unfortunately, who wants to really deal with that? Especially when you find out about it later versus just like if you know how this person is, like if they're fake or phony, but you're like still friends with them, then that's different. That's on you. But like if you don't know about this person, about these people, and yet it comes out later and just gets blown up in your face, and you're just like, but wait, what happened? And then it's just like more of so of a like, oh man, I need to, like I said, handle things differently, move differently, and groove differently. So that's kind of really, you know, um, where I am with things. It is a peaceful feeling when you kind of just start focusing on yourself and not dealing with other people that don't need to be dealt with anymore, right? Because everybody, you've heard the phrase, you've heard the saying, you sometimes you do outgrow people. Sometimes you don't need that cancer, not cancer, it's a bad word. You don't need that in your life. And not that people are cancer, but sometimes they're just toxic. Sometimes their energy and the aura isn't or shouldn't mesh with your energy and aura because everybody doesn't intermingle, right? Everybody can't go, basically. Everybody can't go, and it just sometimes we realize these things later. Like me, I'm a late bloomer when it comes to like realizing and seeing things, and other times it's been there this whole time and you're just choosing to ignore it. And 9 times out of 10, that was the situation for me. I would just be choosing I didn't do, there we go. I would just be choosing to ignore a situation because it was comfortable during the time. There's that word again, comfortable. It was comfortable for me to deal with the person in their ways versus than just being like, "Ugh, let me just not deal with it and go this way." Because like I've had friendships I had to let go. I've had people that we've drifted apart from. And it just came to a point like I feel like I'm just like chasing down the person. But like if you don't want to talk to me, people somehow aren't really adults when it comes to that. They rather just ignore you or ghost you or waste your time and things like that versus just saying, hey, yo, I don't want to talk to you or I'm good going this way. I'm about this route and you're over here. We just don't work. It's really not that complicated to really just dumb the person because people do all the time. They just do it in dumb ways. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I just always say it's a healing thing when you cut people off that don't need to be in your energy or in your space, anymore. And sometimes it's annoying because you just wonder, well, was there more I could do? We were going whatever, whether like I said, whether it be relationships, friends, situations, whatever. But really have to really sit back and think about what is it doing for you? Is it making you a better person or is it draining you? Is it healing your soul or is it healing your soul and helping you grow? Or is it just wasting your time, right? Is it making you a better person when it comes to things, helping you out with things, actually genuinely being there versus just being there, like I said, for the clout? So you have to really be careful when you like intercounter let's say intertwine and encounter, there we go, intertwine and encounter with people because sometimes they're just there just for a specific reason to take you off your track and your path of what's bestowed for you. And we oftentimes don't really want to think that about people, look, see the bad in people, but the fakeness and the fake love and the fake care and the fake concern is there. It's real. And sometimes we have to have something like just like thrown in our faces for us to really see what's been there, all along. And for me, like I said, that was a situation that usually is a situation me. I'm kind of like don't want to really see, like I feel like it's there, like I feel like it's like swirling around there, but it's like if I do this, maybe the outcome will be different. But it never is. It really never is. Unfortunately, it's always the same outcome. I'm always left really holding the bag and always really left feeling like, well, that was a waste of time. But it really also depends on too how you handle that situation going forward. Like, what do you learn from that? What do you gain from the situation? Like, if you, like, let's say for example, you're in a situation and it doesn't go the way that you want it to go, right? But you know how the person is because you saw how they dealt with the situation, but yet you choose to do it over and over and over again, or you choose to still deal with that person or be around that person or interact with that person. Then it's like it doesn't become like an accident that it keeps happening, but it becomes just like you're just choosing to stay in the situation because, like I said earlier, it's comfortable to be in a familiar setting. But if the same outcome keeps happening, whatever situation is, but it still leads to the same outcome, really, what are you really gaining from it besides just a waste of time? Like, I don't mean to be so blunt, but I'm just saying, like, if it's the same situation, it's the same outcome. Because, like, people, I mean, I guess people do change. I don't know. I haven't seen it. Maybe there's somebody out there who actually does change. I just don't believe it. I feel like that's just a cliche. I feel like people want to change. Like, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. People really want to change, even though they may seem like they aren't making huge strides to do it. But I do personally, me, in my opinion, I do feel like people want to change. They just I guess got to be handed the right tools. I guess sometimes people, in my experience, I've dealt with that people they want to change, but just only to keep you there to do the same things, if that makes sense. Like, people say they want to change, they want to be better, they want to go down this route, they want to handle things differently, but yet, really, do you really, what is it? Like, do you really see them making strides? Not just to keep you around, not just to have you do things for them, not just to have you be like a placeholder, if that makes sense. But like, are they really, you know, making moves or changes that you actually see that is beneficial to both of you? Because like, you don't want to be around somebody or even just yourself or doing things yourself that don't lead to anywhere but the same situation. Like, where you are today, where you are this year, 2021, should not, if you can't help it, be where you are in 2022 or even in August or even in September or December or whatever you want to call it. Like, there should be some movement there in your lifespan time. Like, I don't think anybody wants to just still be in the same position they are now in December, especially after this year we've had. I know I don't. I can't. That's just retarded. I can't. No. But I feel like if the person or you or whoever is making the or putting the effort or the time and energy to make a change and difference, then I guess it's beneficial. But if the outcome, like I said, is always the same, or if you feel like the person isn't hearing you and you're saying and trying to show them in different areas and languages and body movements and body vibes and body auras and whatever word you can think of, and it's still the same thing, I think that that needs to be handled differently. Like, for me, like I said, I'm a late bloomer when it comes to like realizing things. Like I said, I may see it, I may feel that it's like there, like, okay, this is not really a good look, but let me just keep going and maybe things will get better. But like I said earlier, it doesn't. Unfortunately for me, it never does. I try not to look, you know, like I try not to be so cynical. I try not to look for the bad in people, or better yet, that sounds a little jaded. More so, don't have a lot of high expectations for people. Like I said, COVID has shown a lot of things, you know, into perspective. But personally, it takes a while in general, even before COVID, just like in general, really to trust somebody, whether it be, like I said, a family member, a friend, a relationship, a cousin, whatever you want to call it. And it takes me a very long time to trust people because, like, I may say that I do, but it's just like with like little things, not like big things, like my time and my what's in my chest and things like that. But it's like small little things that I know if and when they do mess up with it, it won't be a big deal. But like, where it's like things I'm passionate about or things that I know will break down the walls, as they say, and it's just like no, because it's just like whenever I did, as the saying goes, whenever you do, they end up just running you over. So it it you don't. like you don't want to like me. You don't want to be like me. Number one, let's put that out there. You don't want to be like me, jaded and just annoyed with people and just don't understand why they're so dumb. Not everybody, but some people just make me want to just scratch my head. But you don't want to just walk around with thinking that everybody is going to fail you. Everybody is not really good, or everybody's not like can help you get to the next stage of your life, because everybody wants to have somebody in their corner or people in their corner who can help them build and grow, because that's a beautiful thing. You can have like a group, community, or whatever you want to call it, of people that can help you, and you help them move along in the stages in their lives, in your lives. But sometimes some bad apples get up in there sometimes. Unfortunately, that's just the way love goes sometimes. And you also don't want to get to where you're just like doing more compromising than communicating. That makes sense. Like it shouldn't just be 90% compromising on your part and 10% them just being there on their part. Like it needs to be half and half, whatever it is. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with wanting to make people happy, because who doesn't want to be happy, right? You want to make people happy, but doing whatever it is that makes them happy. But also, people forget. And I know I did, and I do. You also have to you also have to keep yourself happy as well too. Like that's like the most important thing, is to keep yourself happy and sane. That's another thing too. Your mind is just, it always should be sane. So sometimes, I know I would tend to just you know kind of like push what I knew was wrong, what I knew wasn't right, what I knew the vibe wasn't, whatever, in the back burner, to just keep, what was at bay. Because, like, for me, I've fallen into the trap of just being comfortable with a situation, knowing that it wasn't doing anything but just the situation. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like gonna like benefit me or help me in any way tomorrow or the next day, but just during this time, it was nice. You know what I'm saying? So it was just comfortable um, during that time. And I felt like after a while, I'm just like, okay, but like after this situation, after this thing, after this whatever, what about tomorrow? Am I still going to be like, oh, okay, that was nice? Or am I going to still feel like how I felt before the situation happened? And I've noticed that that was the case. I would still be feeling like, okay, this was nice, but I'm like, but what's next? Like, what's chapter two? You know what I mean? Like, so it wasn't really like more to the story. It was just like, this is it. This is what's happening now. And then when tomorrow comes, you just got to figure out on your own. And I and I had to, figure out or find that balance to what I would be okay with, what I would deal with, what I didn't want to deal with, who I wanted to be around, who I didn't want to be around. And I didn't want to like, nobody really wants to like exit themselves from people or exit themselves from situations. But if it's toxic and it's harmful and it's not, like I said, not doing anything, to you, but just draining you, then I don't really see, like, why would you want to stay? Like, why would you want to stay in a situation that's draining you? You know, um, so I just felt like it was just, I don't know, a waste of time. Um, no, 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 I'm not going to do a name drop, but yeah, so they did change. Yeah, so they did change temporarily. Like, just like I said, it would be just say for like a month or so, or a couple weeks or so, and then it would just be like um back to normal. Because like I said, people they don't really change, unfortunately. They just, get better at hiding. They really are. Unfortunately, that's just really how it goes. So you just have to be conscious of people's tendencies and motives, really, for what they really are. Like if they show you, like you've heard the saying, if they show you in the beginning, who they are. Or for me personally, if I can see who you are and how you are in the first 5 minutes, I'm good. I don't need anything else. Anything after the first 5 minutes, it's just an act. You can really tell. That's how I look at things. I try to see people in the first 5 minutes and how they will react and deal with things. But after that, it's just like, nah. Um, but again, this anchor thing is really very annoying. So it's almost at the end. I didn't even notice it. It's like 10 seconds left. So I'm going to stop this when this is at the last mark, and then finish out in a minute. So bear with me. I didn't think that this was going to be. Um, wait, let me see. Mm-mm-mm. Um, okay, yeah. So I didn't think this was going to be like one of my hour. What do you call it? Talks, but I just, I guess I had a lot to say. I don't know. I'm so thirsty and I can't get you my water. Boom. But yeah. But like I said, if you don't take anything from this, my rants as I call it. Sometimes I do rant for a bit, depending on the topic. Um, just be mindful, really, because I've heard people say this and I've tried to live by this and I've tried to tell people this too. Just be mindful of who you let into your space, right? Who you let into your aura, your energy, your vibe, your this, all of this. You really need to be mindful and cautious of who you let into there because not everybody is meant to stay, right? Not everybody is meant to get get past that level barrier, whatever you want to call it, of what you have here. Not everybody deserves to be here, really to be way over here. And sometimes you have to like do things drastically. Sometimes we have to just walk away. Sometimes you just have to be silent, you know. Sometimes you just have to just like I'm doing, just stepping away so you can see things clearer. Because like I said, once you and I've noticed this, like I said, in the past couple of weeks, it's refreshing actually. Funny, but refreshing. But once you step away and you really see people, you really see how they are, and you can know them for years. You can know them for 2 months, you can know them for a day, whatever you want to call it. Once you step away from people, situations, things that aren't doing anything to strengthen your life, to heal your life, to grow your life, to grow your time, and you see things and you see people how they really are, then you realize, oh wow, they really weren't messing with me. They were only messing with me because I was messing with them. You get what I'm saying? Like now that now that we found love, no, now that I'm not doing most of the work, I'm not doing most of the reaching out, I'm not doing most of the initiative. That's the word I'm trying to think of, initiative. And now it's just quiet. Now it's just ghost. Now it's just like, oh, okay. So that's really how it is. I see. I see. And it sucks, but it's better that you find out before you get too much more of your time wasted. And you can just go about your business and do your own things. Because like I said, everything is not that serious. You don't need everybody. Like I said, everybody can't go. So if you it's better that you find out sooner than later versus down the line you're just like, oh wait, when did that happen? Versus now when you can just be like, okay, this happened, so let me just X that out. This happened, let me just check that. Because once we get out of this fully and once we're kind of like back out in the world, you really don't want to be dealing with the same people who just brought you down, because by then we've already been stuck in the house, stuck in this whole thing for years and change. It needs to be like, things need to change once we're out of this. You can't be around the same people. You can't be dealing with the same things. You can't be tolerating the same thing. And you can't be just being like okay with the same things. Like if you're not excuse me, if like you're not okay with a person, situation, something they did, said, or doing, or whatever you want to call it, then let it be known. And if they choose to either A, not accept it, or B, hear what you're saying and not do anything about it, then you gotta go. They gotta go. Y'all both gotta go. Y'all both can't stay. Somebody has to go. And the sooner you do that, the happier and fulfilling you will be. The sooner you do that, the more at peace you will be with people. The sooner you do that, everything doesn't have to be so serious. Everybody, like I said when I started this out, everybody isn't worth your time and your energy. And the sooner you realize that, the less stressful things that don't need to be stressed will be. I hope that made sense. But yeah, so yes, this is about hour and 4 minutes. Yeah, I'm not gonna make this too much longer because I still have to edit everything. But yeah, guys, I think that is it. I just wanted to reiterate. I think I maybe mentioned a couple things a couple times in this episode, but yeah, like I said, with fake love, it does come in all shapes and sizes, and it doesn't just have to be with the people you think I'm talking about, like relationship wise, but it could just be anybody. And like I said just a couple minutes ago, the sooner you realize that, the more refreshed and healing and peace at peace you'll be. Because before, a couple years ago, if I was doing what I was doing now, I would be like, maybe I'm just being overreactive. It's not that serious, blah blah blah. But now more so, just like, oh, can I do this more? Is there more people, more things I can do this to and with? Um, and I feel like it's just a nice feeling, like because once you do it, and once you step away with different people, you really do see like it's a good feeling. Like you really do see things clearly. Like you really been like, wow, this whole time you really weren't messing with me. You were just really just messing with me for the time being, for the clout. Because I'm like, all the times I would be reaching out, or all the times I would be trying and doing the work. And now it's been quiet because most people who are friends, most people who are close with somebody, most people who know somebody for some time, unless you know the personality, like I said earlier, if you haven't heard from them in some time, you would reach out, right? And like I said earlier, I'm not a person who takes 4 or 5 days to respond. Like I know people who do. Like my brother is a big person like that. Like I'm still waiting on a response from him that I sent 2 months ago. So it's just like it's just like there are some people who just are like that. And you just know that's them. Like you know that, hey, if let me not have this in-depth conversation because I know they're gonna disappear versus let me call them. Versus over here, where this person over here will text back instantly, y'all can talk for hours, right? So, and I'm that person who, if you're talking about something that's like of in depth, not just like a random conversation, but in depth, I'm gonna give you the time. Exactly, I'm gonna give you the time that you deserve because it's like you're taking the time to reach out to let me know that you have something to say. So why would I not give you the same respect in return of listening to what you have to say? But like I said, the minute I stopped doing all that, because like I said, people who know me know that I maybe take a couple hours to respond, if that. Not that I was on my phone, it's just I check it periodically because of what I do. And so if I see your message and I see it's urgent, or if you're saying something of interest, I'm gonna respond. Not if it's like a meme, I'll respond later. But if it's like something serious, then I definitely will respond. But I don't even think I've taken 2 3 days to respond. Like I said, unless I'm like in a rural area or my phone is off. And the thing is, I'll let people know that, hey, I'm turning my phone off for these next couple of days because I'm just wanting some peace and quiet. And I've done that from time to time. Like I'll turn mine off, say after the show, and turn it back on Tuesday or Wednesday. But I'm cool with that because I'm not missing anything. Everything's already posted. Everything's already done. Everybody I need to talk to is right here. So I don't need to be on my phone like that. Like I said, back when I came back in January, it took me a long time to be away from social media that much and not feel like, um, I was missing anything from not being on my phone 24/7 or not being on social media, posting or looking or retweeting, whatever you want to call it, 24/7. So, like I said, when I stopped doing that, and I noticed that people, like I said, if you haven't heard from somebody in a while, and you know how they are when it comes to communicating things like that, wouldn't you reach out? Just to say, hey, just checking on you, hope you're good, blah, blah, blah. If you want to talk, let me know. Like, that's something I would do. And again, not everybody's like me, or not everybody's like everybody, but it's been like 3 4 weeks. Yeah. If you have like, if it's been like 3 4 weeks and you haven't heard from the person, wouldn't you reach out versus, just on their social media, liking things, looking at things? Because unless you forgot, people can tell when you're looking at their stories and their lives and their things like that. You know what I'm saying? So it just really, I laugh because it's just funny because it's just like, man, and some of these relationships have been for years, and it's just like, okay, that's really how it is. Because when the first move is not you, it's just easier. But when it has to be, you're just like, nah, I'm good. So it's just, I don't know. It's interesting. People are interesting. People are funny creatures, And like I said, COVID, and this should be for everybody. If you've known people who, from what I'm talking about, or whatever you want to call it, you know somebody who is who I just described or what I just described, and it's just interesting. That's what I will leave you guys with. It's interesting when things are reversed. There we go. Role situations, whatever you want to call it, reversed, and you can see how people truly are when it comes to, say, if you're in a situation that you need help with, or say if you want to talk, versus when it was them. Um, um, I forgot what I was saying. Damn it. I was on a roll. What the fuck was I saying? Well, I had a point, but I totally forgot now. What was I saying? No, I had a really good point. Oh my god. Oh, there we go. Yes, if the when the roles are reversed. It's funny, I was saying when the roles are reversed and you need their help, or you want to talk to somebody, or um I'm not even looking, or you want to talk, you need somebody to talk to, or you need help with something, or you want you something has happened with you and you need somebody to talk to. How quickly they are to dismiss what you're saying, or how quickly they are to be like, oh, shrug it off and be like, oh, it's not that serious, or whatever you want to call it. But when it was the other way, you're listening, you're attentive, you're there, but when you need the help, you need the care, when you need the time, you need somebody to listen to you, and blah blah blah, they're kind of like, oh, no, I'm busy, or oh, can we talk later, or you'll be fine, or catch with you when we can, or you'll write them a message or whatever you want to call it, and they'll take forever to respond back. But it's just like, but when it was reversed, you needed my attention 24/7, and then when I wasn't there, you'd be mad. So it's just, people are funny. That's just really what it is. People are funny. People are interesting creatures, and when things are reversed, in my opinion, that really truly shows you who they really are. Don't take anything else I've said. Test it. Test it. Go ghost, or don't respond, or be MIA for a bit, and see if, when you do these things, when you're not doing your normal things, or you're not doing the consistent things, see how much people will be there, or who will reach out, or who will reach out, or who will check up on you. And it just puts things into perspective. Like I said, people are funny. The love, the true love, you'll know it. Like I said, and it doesn't have to be in a relationship, just with friends, basically friends, family members, even co-workers, whatever you want to call it, cousins. Um, or even brothers and sisters or family members. You don't know the relationship, but just people are funny, and it's just when you reverse the roles, it really does show people, not show people, it really shows people's true intentions, and really what they're there for, what they won't be there for, and what they kind of are there for just because. So I don't know. That's just my thing. People are funny, and I said that love. Like I said, you'll know it. That real love, not that fake love with that, like, you gotta pull at it love, but the real love, not the fake love that so many people these days have. So just be careful. Just be careful. That's all. But yeah, I went on for another 10 minutes, so that's cool. But yes, I hope I hope this topic resonated with you somehow. Um, I'm about to turn these comments off. Um, yes, I hope this topic resonated. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I hope this topic resonated with you guys somehow. At least something in my rant clicked. Something in my rant. You're like, oh, okay, maybe I'll try that. Something in there, you'll get. Um, but yeah, so like I said, it's fun. Like I said, I try to pick topics, not pick them in advance, but just like talk about topics that I've dealt with, situations that I've dealt with, because it makes more sense. It comes off not just so you're just trying to like say random things, but it comes off a little bit more like, okay, you can be more relatable because you've dealt with it, or you are dealing with it. You could be dealing with this right now, and it could not just be something that happened months ago. It could be something you're dealing with at this exact moment, and you just need some advice on something. So I'm always listening. I'm always here if you need some advice or anything. But like I said, I don't have like all the answers. I just have the answers that I know worked for me and that could possibly work for you. I just want to give that advice if I could. But yes, so this was, what episode is this? 35. There we go. episode episode 35. And it was Fake Love of Pure Sessions. So also before I forget, I posted on my page, my main page, Line and Pure. Actually, this page too, I think. I have to double check. Of me doing a jazz session on June 11th, Friday at 6 o'clock. So definitely tune into that. It's going to be live. I'm going to do it at what that time? 6 o'clock on Lana and Pure's page, not this page, but on Lana and Pure's page. So I'll be playing two songs on my sax. I started playing like a month ago, and I've always wanted to play. Like I mentioned, I played different instruments. I never knew how to read music, so I would play by ear. So I play the piano, the guitar. It's over here. The drums by ear, and then I recently got a trumpet. It's a long story with that, but I recently got a trumpet, and it was very hard. So I was playing that, and I kind of like stopped, and then I moved on to the saxophone, which I extremely love. His name is Treble. I like it. I mean, he's alto sax, but his name is Treble because it's a play on words. It's corny, my reasoning, so I'm not even gonna say it. I'm not gonna embarrass myself. But yeah, so I play sax. So I taught myself how to not be an aficionado, but to read, some notes. So the two songs that I'm going to play on Friday is "Stand by Me" by Benny King. I was going to wait to say it, but I already posted it, so it doesn't matter. So "Stand by Me" by Benny King and what's the other song? Wait a minute. Um, oh, "Ain't No Sunshine" by Bill Withers. So I'm gonna play those two songs, and it's pretty cool. It took me about a couple weeks to learn the first song, and then the second week to learn the second song. So I practice it every day. It's fun. That was the thing with the trumpet. I felt like I couldn't really get the niche, like when you just kind of like connect with an instrument or whatever the craft is, and you just feel like, oh, this is like beautiful. This is like what it is, and nothing wrong with the trumpet. I just felt that more with the sax. So I like it. So definitely, if you are available, to definitely tune that in, tune in. There we go. I'm talking too fast. Tune in to that. It's June 11th, at 6 p.m. live. Live on Lana and Pure's page. I might post it on here too, but the live will be on Lana and Pure's page, and it's exciting. Like I said, and also I'm gonna teach the little bit that I know. I'm not gonna be, like I said, I'm not an aficionado, but the little bit that I do know, I will teach. How to play on the scale, how to read. Not music, but read the notes for these two songs, and we'll just have fun. It'll be fun. I'm a little nervous because it's like I'm teaching a music class, but it'll be kind of fun. I'm excited. So that is coming up in about 3 weeks or so. I don't have the calendar, but 3 weeks. Yeah, 3 weeks or so. So yeah. But yes, now I'm definitely going to wrap it up because I don't want to make this too long. But I appreciate everybody who has tuned in, whether in the beginning, later, or even on Anchor. I will say, outside of it, just being able to record for 30 minutes, I do like that this website app, kind of distributes it to the other platforms for me as well, versus me doing it on each platform. So like with Apple, Spotify, Pocket Tune Beaker, and also on SoundCloud, just the audio. But the visual, the videos, the lives are on Line and Pure's Corner and Line and Pure on YouTube and on Instagram. But yes, so that is about it because I need something to drink. And I think my headache finally slightly went away. I might need to take something, but yes, be careful with this. With the, there we go. Be careful with this weather. There we go, because it's very disrespectful lately. But yeah, I hope, like I said, something I said in my rant resonated with you guys. Like I said, be careful because everybody's love is not real and everybody's love is not forever. And sometimes the people who we think won't hurt us are the fakest of it all. So yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed another episode of Pure Sessions with your girl Lana. And stay tuned for the next episode and some more music being posted and things like that. It's going to be a fun month. It's going to be a fun month. So, yes, I appreciate it. And I'll see you guys next Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for another episode with your girl. And like I said, I'm on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple, all the fun places. Snapchat, I think. Yeah. But that is about it. Have a good evening. Oh, and I hope, well, wait, was it last week or 2 weeks ago? Was it 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago. Everybody who graduated, congratulations. I think that was the best part of being done with school was walking across the aisle. Even though I went to two different schools, but it was still both times was still as exciting as the last. So I see a lot of people graduating now. Um, I don't miss school. I miss school, but I don't miss like the learning part. So don't mind me. But yes, congratulations to all the graduates. I think some colleges and some not colleges, some high schools I think are they still in school? I don't even it's been so long. I don't even know if school's still in session, but yeah, congratulations to that. But yes, so I'm gonna wrap this up before this becomes 2 hours again. And I'll see y'all lovely faces next week. Thank you. Oh wait, this did not record. Oh no, it did record. I was about to say, did it not record? I was about to be ticked off, but it did. I thought I hit stop by accident. But yeah, that's about it, guys. See y'all next week. I did record. All right, cool. Have a good Sunday and do something today that you didn't do the day before.